Hello, everybody, and welcome to PMP Sports, another edition in the Murphy Broadcasting Room. Election day today. I have a feeling I know who you vote. Did you vote? Did you go back home to go vote?
I did not.
So you're not voting?
I'm not voting.
You're not voting? I'm not voting either for this one.
I think that as much as people say that it's important to exercise your right to vote and your vote matters a lot, I think your not vote also matters a lot. So that's kind of where I sit.
Yeah, that's where I was. I couldn't believe that this was the first election that we had to choose between.
Yeah, it's
and
not
it's
a great
probably
one.
one of the most difficult ones ever, so I'm sitting this one out, so you can't blame me if something bad happens over these next 4 years. Not my fault. Okay, so anyways, we wanted to talk about NBA season is back up because did we even do a show last week, or were we in
we
here?
did 2 weeks ago.
It was 2 weeks ago, so NBA season has
Right.
started. That was opening night. We did the show.
Yes, it was.
That was, and
Where I mentioned Kawhi Leonard for MVP.
Yeah, you did. But you know what was also funny about that? Because next Tuesday's opening day for college basketball.
Yes.
So we get both opening nights
We
for
do get
basketball.
both opening nights. That does
which is
work out pretty
perfect because
well.
that's right up our alley because basketball's our thing.
Yeah, that works
So-
out pretty well.
So I'm pretty happy
I
about
wish I
that.
could hear you out of my left ear.
You can't. Yeah, I can't hear you out of my right ear, but
Huh.
you're 2 feet away from me anyway, so that doesn't really matter. So anyways, on to the topic beside basketball. Joel Embiid finally gets to play after sitting out 2 years due to foot injuries. It's only been 5 games, but I'm just going to pull up these per 36-minute numbers, which are just incredible. I know they're obviously not real numbers, but it just makes you think if he got more playing time.
Right.
So 29.6 points, 11.4 rebounds, and 4.4 blocks per game. But his real numbers right now, still amazing, even though he's only averaging 21 minutes a game, or 17.6 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 2.6 blocks in
It's
just
remarkable,
5 games.
really.
I think it's incredible, not just that he is technically a rookie, it's that he sat out 2 years, he's starting, and he's gone up against some pretty good teams so far. I mean, the Thunder had pretty good big men, and he
Thunder
was
have
doing
solid big
a
men.
nice
Yes, he
job
was.
against them. So tell me, what have you seen from him that has surprised you the most? Not just numbers wise, just by eye test.
I think his mobility, 7'3", he's huge.
Especially coming off foot injuries.
Yeah,
right?
and I know he was someone with a little mobility, a little shooting range, but I thought 10, 15 footers. I didn't think that he could step out and shoot the three at such an accurate percentage either. I think it's really impressive, just somebody his size moving the way he's moving, and like you said, coming off foot ankle injury, that's a lot. That says a lot,
Even the free throw percentage is pretty good. He's almost at 77%.
Yeah.
For a big man, that's fantastic. Usually when guys
Yeah.
are that big, their hands are too big to
Yeah,
shoot the ball.
yep.
But for some reason, for him, it doesn't seem
He's
to be
got
a
the
problem.
touchdown. Yeah,
which is really impressive.
I think-
Also, yeah, go ahead.
No, I just think that he's a rarity of great. Not great big man. He's not great, obviously, but he has the potential to be.
I think he might be the most talented big man in the game. And I know that's the kind of a stretch. You have Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins. I mean, even Gasol, talent does fade, but still, when we're talking about complete talent overall,
Yeah.
I'll still put Powell there. But if you really think about it, a guy who was just started playing basketball when he was 16, 17 years old, and he just
only been a
came
few
over
years.
here. He would have been the number 1 overall pick. There was a good chance if he didn't get that foot injury. So, I mean, I think it's paid off so far that Philly actually took him there because
Yeah, definitely.
Noel's hurt, and then, Okafor is coming off the bench. It's a similar situation there, too. So it's kind of interesting to see how that will play out.
Right.
But, okay, in terms of Rookie of the Year, does he have a shot at it? Even though he
Absolutely.
has this minutes restriction on him.
Absolutely. I think that if in any sports, if you can give somebody a Rookie of the Year or MVP, example, Tom Brady in MVP discussion, missing 4 games, Gary Sanchez not coming up until July, getting Rookie of the Year conversation. I think absolutely there's a chance, and I think right now a front runner in that regard.
Yeah, and if you really think about it, there haven't been that many rookies that are kind of proving themselves that they're, hey, I'm the clear-cut Rookie of the Year right now. And I honestly, Jaylen Brown only had the one nice game against Cleveland. He's shown flashes, but I don't think there's anyone close to Embiid right now if you really think about it.
Chris Dunn has played decently well, but Minnesota hasn't quite played as well as, they're capable of
because they're just
yet.
not there yet.
Yeah, and of course, we're only, an eighth
we're
ninth of the way through.
We're not
the
even
season.
10 games into the
Right.
season, so it's a little crazy. I don't know. Is Frazier from New Orleans?
Is he a rookie?
A rookie?
I think
I'm
he
not-
played last
I'm not.
season.
Okay, yeah, but he has been amazing. for
Tim
them.
Frazier, right?
Yeah, out of Penn State.
Penn State,
with
yeah.
the Pelicans.
He's the only thing that's given Anthony Davis any help. Segue next.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what we knew. I mean, we're gonna talk about Anthony Davis coming up in the later segment, but I mean, Embiid. You knew people were talking about it. All the scouts and everything. Like, hey, this guy is really good. Even Danny Ainge tried trading up for him. Even though they knew for certain that he was probably going to sit out a year. That's how good everyone thought he was going to be, and it was crazy. It was funny because we were talking about it last year. Around this time last year, they were saying like the Sixers weren't that happy with Joel Embiid's diet and his workout plans for during his injury time, and then all of a sudden there was that picture that was released of him where he looks all jacked up and in fantastic shape, and next thing you know, the guy's been perfectly healthy, and even though it's been a minutes restriction, he's.
You have to ease into
I
it.
gotta say he's dominating. There's no way around it.
He's doing a terrific job.
I mean, even look about it last night, if you don't mind me saying. Okay, so in 19 minutes, he only had 8 shots attempted, right? He had 4 of them. Still 50% is fantastic. 6 of 9 free throws, still above average for a big man. He's grabbing 9 rebounds. Although the alarming thing was there was 5 personal fouls and 5 turnovers.
Yeah, that's one thing that they have seen. And again, you saw the same thing with Porzingis, and you still see it. He gets into foul trouble very quickly. Guys that had big growth spurts, Embiid, for an example, 7-3, Porzingis 7-1,
Even
too
Boogie
big,
got
a little
6
too,
fouls in the
a
quarter this
little
season.
too big for your body. It's a lot to get used to athletically, defensively. Playing defense is not easy. But to be good defensively is way harder than to be good offensively, and so I think some things like that you're gonna see the foul trouble and turnovers early for him. But I think it'll all level out.
That all comes with time.
Yeah,
too,
and I think his offensive numbers and rebounding numbers, I think they're sustainable. I don't think it's a rookie coming in and catching fire for a couple weeks.
I think it's amazing considering what point guard does he have. Like, what guard does this guy actually have? I think you can even go back and look at Anthony Davis's numbers, and I'm sure you can look at Boogie's numbers too. They probably had better guards to start their careers. I mean, Jrue Holiday is better than any guard Philly has had recently. I mean, he used to play for
including himself.
Including himself. Even Tyreek Evans and all these other guys. And then Boogie had Darren Collison and Rondo. I know Embiid's just 6 games in, but they're not. Sergio Rodriguez isn't even in the comparison.
It's impressive to see. It's just the rate that he's doing it so quickly.
And I think you got to even look to Jahlil Okafor too and give him a little bit of love because I think he's doing also a solid job considering he's got to play behind him off the bench
after
coming
he
off
had played
injury.
last year after he had a good year and now he has to
talk about the starting guards on Philly being terrible for Embiid. How about the second unit? So he's got to have T.J. McConnell or Nick Stauskas coming. I know. I think it's impressive. A funny thing that I saw was Jahlil Okafor is going to be dominant. It was a radio personality for Sirius for NBA, and he was saying it would be interesting to see if maybe the Phoenix Suns try to trade one of their guards for maybe Jahlil Okafor. Someone said Devin Booker, but I don't see that. I think that would be a terrible trade for Phoenix. But maybe, who knows? Maybe even a Brandon Knight or Bledsoe
Brandon Knight
straight
always
up
seems
swap.
to be the guy, on the short end.
He's always on the move. He's the
but he thrives in those.
Cabrera.
He thrives in those type of situations. Brandon Knight. He hasn't been on a very good team yet, so it's kind of what his MO has been.
He really hasn't
Unintentionally.
Okay, so Embiid. I think if healthy, it's a top 2 lock for Rookie of the Year. Unless Ben Simmons comes in and just goes insane for them, but they're teammates, so they might be taken away from each other.
I don't know. I think as of now, I'd have to say Embiid. I don't really it has to be some crazy.
Because Jaylen Brown's minutes are going to go down once Crowder's back.
Yeah,
he's been out. He's got that starting role right now. So.
Well, I don't think Jaylen Brown was ever meant for the award anyway. He kind of knew going in that he wasn't going to.
I don't think
put
he
up
did,
gaudy
but
numbers.
It was a lot of encouraging stuff when he went up against LeBron James.
Right.
Well, I thought he was going to foul out. The guy only had 3 fouls. He had 19 points, 5 rebounds.
Yeah.
One of probably the best rebound of the year. If you saw that video when he grabbed it with one hand and he just tossed it back.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's encouraging, but who knows? Maybe the Philadelphia 76ers are bringing back big men because it's been a guard dominant league for a while. But now, if you really look across the whole league, there's a lot of talented big men,
There are.
young coming up, and 3 of them are in Philly. And you know what? I think they have a really good chance at.
They're a couple years away from the playoffs.
Like when I say they have a really good chance at becoming competitive, I mean I think they have the assets to flip for something
right?
good.
Because they're a couple guards away. They need some guards,
and that's my whole thing with any team in the NBA. If I'm picking
and they
a
still
team,
have picks coming.
they still have pick. They're going to get a top 5 pick again, but it's very strange, and even with Dallas, it's crazy the competition they might be having for a top 5 pick. But even the crazy part in that is that you still don't know where that ping pong ball is going to bounce.
Absolutely.
That's the crazy part.
Absolutely.
So that'll wrap it up for this segment. Joel Embiid looks
Trust
like
the process.
Yeah, they nicknamed him the process now. You see that?
Of course.
I hope it turns out well because I was a Sam Hinnicky guy. I don't know about you. I believe in you have to suck real bad before you get anywhere good. And I'm not a fan of the treadmill thing. The treadmill team just like being mediocre for a long time. The Jets are a totally different thing, but
the epitome of a treadmill team.
Yeah, but they're like
the Giants, you could say.
No, the Giants have won 2 Super Bowls. Stop. The Giants fans have got to stop with the poor us, 2 Super Bowls. Like, if you tell like Lions fan bases and any other fan base that has been suffering for a long time, hey, you won't make the playoffs every year, but we'll throw them in 2 Super Bowls within 10 years. Would you take it? Yes, you would. You would take it.
Oh yeah, of course.
You would take it.
Of course.
Yes, it's frustrating because hey, you won 2 Super Bowls. How come we not get in the playoffs more often? Yes, that's understandable. But at the same time, 2 Super Bowls is more than most people will see in their lifetime depending on some of their team. I mean, the Lions have never even been there. So
hey, they're headed back. They're headed to the playoffs this year.
Matthew Stafford needs to get out of Detroit.
I said let him stay. Build it back around him.
No.
Rebuild it.
Go to Denver if you're smart.
Rebuild it around Stafford.
Okay, so that'll do it for this segment.
Eminem.
We're going to be segueing into football next. Speaking of the Jets, and man, is that locker room blowing up. PNP Sports, back after this.